Hey guys, welcome. We are so glad you are here to share with us some stories about health and hope. Tonight, we are focusing on an opportunity, and this is an opportunity that I will be super honest. I was very, very skeptical about in the beginning. So I'm really excited that you are here and ready to listen with an open mind to some of our stories about how this opportunity has changed our life and how this business has helped us and our families. So, first off, I just want to go over some of the things, some of the objections, some of the things that I was not looking forward to about the business, just so that you can kind of sit comfortably and listen and know a little bit more about what we're talking about. So, with this Plexus opportunity, you have the opportunity to share products that you loved with friends and family to help them get healthier. And while you're doing that, while you're helping them, you are getting compensated for sharing something that you love, that you feel good about. This is very, very similar to going out to eat at a restaurant that you love and calling your friend and saying, "Oh my goodness, you have got to try this restaurant because I just had the most amazing salad from there. It was mind blowing and the atmosphere is great." And you talk about it for 5 minutes and they go and try the restaurant. Very, very similar thing that we're talking about, except instead of a restaurant, we're talking about something that can change people's lives, and that has changed my life. Um, some of the really great things about sharing with this specific company is that you, first of all, it's a really low startup cost, super, super low. You do not have to have products on hand. You can, here's my puppy. You can do this from absolutely anywhere, like literally on your front porch at 9 o'clock at night with your dog in the background. You can sit and share this opportunity and these products with people. It doesn't have to be certain hours, and you can literally work from your phone wherever you are. And that's a huge benefit if you have families or kids with activities or another job that you're working on. You can do both of those simultaneously. You don't have to have a huge inventory. I don't sell things that I have on hand. People buy those directly from my website and they're shipped directly to them. So I don't have to worry about getting to the post office. I don't have to worry about finding change for people. All of that is done online, and literally all I have to do is tell people my experiences, share other people's experiences, and help them on their journey. So those are some really, really great things that Plexus has going for it. Another thing that I absolutely love is there's so much training going on. People hop on calls like this. There's all kinds of information on our website that is completely free that you don't have to pay for. So it really is something that is very low cost to start and to maintain. We have a couple of people on here that are going to share a little bit about their stories. But first, I just wanted to give you a really brief rundown of my story and kind of how this has blessed me and my family, and just kind of give you a glimpse into one point of view. So when I started these products, I absolutely fell in love with them. And I knew that I would need to get my products paid for to be able to take them long term. And I knew that was 3 people. So I called some of my friends, shared a sample with them, told them how it was helping me. They decided to hop on board. And it was during a time in my life where my youngest daughter was really, really sick. And I had taken an extended time off of teaching. And I got a notification, an email that said I had a check waiting for me. And I thought, oh, this will just cover the cost of my products because I've just shared with a couple people. And it ended up being more than that. And so it was kind of an accidental business for me. I didn't realize what I was getting into. But I know now that it was a plan from the very beginning, and that God was going to use that to completely bless my family. So since I started my products, and now I take the products, two of my daughters take the products every month. I have never paid for my products. And last month was 3 years, and I've never ever paid for my products. Last year alone, and I spend, just to give you kind of an idea so you can gauge that I'm not like totally crazy. I'm not doing this 24 hours a day. I'm not working 5 hours a day. I usually work 1 to 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And it has provided my family last year with 3 extra family vacations aside from the one we usually take. I was able to build a barn for my daughter's horses and our 4-H animals, which I've always wanted to do. I was able to buy patio furniture. I took my mom to a Broadway show for her 70th birthday. Just lots of extra, my daughter's prom dress, her winter formal, lots of things that we don't have to have, but that as a mom, it's kind of fun to provide those extra things. And that's why I started the Plexus business, was 1, to get my products covered, and 2, to be able to not stress so much over every little thing in my budget. But it has become so much more than that, and not just financially, but the friendships and the way I've been able to grow as a person has completely changed everything for me. So I have a couple other people who might want to share a little bit on this call. So if anybody wants to share about their story with the business and how it's affected them, I would encourage you to speak up.
I will. I'll share.
Hey, Jill.
Hey. So my name is Jill Sampson, and I'm a senior gold ambassador. I've been with Plexus for 2 years, a little bit over 2 years. But my journey goes back, 5 years, because it's hard to tell my financial story without telling a little bit of the product story, because I fell in love with the products, and that's why I said yes. So I started seeing a girl post. I didn't even know her at all. It was on some local selling site for this pink drink, and she'd lost weight and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I was going to try it. And then I was like, no, never mind. I don't do that kind of stuff. So I went back and forth for like 3 years, just being a skeptic, thinking that supplements were junk. Well, after 3 years, I decided finally to try it. And after the 3rd day, I was in love with it, because it already broke my ice cream eating habit at night. But I didn't have any money, like no money. So I'm a single mom. I have 2 boys. Now they're 5 and 12. And I'm a teacher. But I do everything completely on my own with my boys. I don't get any money from anybody, because that's a whole nother story, right? So I really wanted to do it. And I'd also watched this girl who I ended up signing up under. I watched her financial story. I watched her be able to like take her family on trips. I'd seen glimpses of the comp plan and of what the potential was that you could make. And I thought to myself, like, even if I just had the first rank of just adding 3 people, that's like on average $425 a month. Like, that was huge to me. So I did not have the money to sign up. I had been living, like I said, paycheck to paycheck, but even worse than that, I'd been living off of overdraft fees. And I can't remember if I signed up for Plexus knowing that I was going to have to pay an overdraft fee. I don't remember that, but I do know that I called my mom that night, and I told her, Mom, I'm going to do this thing, and you're going to see me post about it on Facebook, and please don't tell me I don't have the money for it. because she would always be my voice of reason. I'd always get mad at her for, like, because I knew what she was saying was right. But I just told her, like, I think like this is my answer, because I knew it after processing it and thinking about it for so long. I knew that Plexus was my answer. So I was like literally sweating when I signed up, because I was nervous because I didn't have the money, but I also knew like part of the sweating was just excitement, because I knew that I was going to change my life and my kid's life. So I signed up, and the very next day, so before my products came, I posted to Facebook and I just said, I'll never forget it. I just said, can't wait for my pink drink. And that was it. And I, for real, just started messaging everybody, like everybody, and just inviting them to do it with me, which is bold and I think takes a lot of courage, but I 100% think it's the way that everybody should do it, because you're not promising anybody anything. You're just asking them to come on this journey with you. You're not like making all these claims. You're just telling people what you're doing. You guys, I knew nothing about the business. I would message my upline, whose name's Julie. I mean, I seriously messaged her like 30, 40, 50 times a day for the first month or so, because I was talking to so many people. I had so many questions because everybody had different questions. But I'm telling you, everybody on this call right now, like, we love this. We love Plexus. I love when people now are me and message me a million questions. Like, because I'm so passionate, and people are always apologetic, like, sorry to bother you. And I'm like, no, I love this. I love doing this. So let me just tell you, on day 17, I ranked silver. So I already made back in 17 days, way more than it cost me to sign up in the first place. And on day 18, I had 4 customers also. So 3 ambassadors and 4 customers. So I already had 500 PV, which when you're at 500 PV, which is kind of dollar equivalency, you make 25% back of all of your own purchases and all of your customers. So my first month, like, I was making some decent money. And it just fueled me. So before Plexus, like I said, it was paycheck to paycheck. It was overdraft fees. It was telling my kids no to sports. It was never going on vacations. It was, I live in a pretty nice area, only because my parents bought the place that we live in, which I now own, but I didn't before. But I couldn't do a lot of the things that the other women in this area were doing, and my boys couldn't do a lot of the things that their friends were doing in this area. And that's not the kid. Like, I signed my kid up for flag football today, and like, those are just the little things that I couldn't do before. I've recarpeted my entire house. I have no car payment anymore. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. Plexus is a blessing, and you do not have to be at the top of the company. You don't have to be, I mean, for me, like, the extra $500 in the beginning was amazing. An extra $1,000 a month is amazing. Like, bringing home a complete extra, like a whole nother teaching paycheck, which is pretty much what I make with Plexus, like getting a whole nother teaching paycheck a month. Like, it's huge. It's completely changed our lives. I used to totally be afraid of going to the mail and getting bills, and I avoided a lot of that stuff. It's so freeing, not being afraid of money. It's so freeing. I sleep better at night. I'm nicer to my kids. I mean, the products help me with that too, but just not having that stress, just such a better person. So much happier. So.
Aw, I'm so happy for you. Your story is so incredibly inspiring. I just love it. Anybody else have something they would like to share?
I'd love to. Okay, so my name is Alyssa Snyder, and mine started off very similar to pretty much everyone here who spoke. I was super skeptical and just knew that the products were not going to work for me. And my husband actually was a pharmacist who went to a private university, and we had as much student loan debt as we had in a mortgage. So literally $200,000 in a house and $200,000 in student loan debt. And no one knew that. So we were robbing Peter to pay Paul, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to make sure that, we could afford everything. And I live in the South, as you can tell from my accent. So I still had to dress my babies in smocked clothes and big bows, right? And that's expensive. So I was literally consigning clothes, trying to figure out whatever I could do, like to make money. I would sell stuff on eBay. I mean, you name it. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I always had my hands in something, So I was at a point where I had lost 100 pounds and I was feeling amazing. And my friend kept asking me, and I was never going to be a part of one of those things. So she actually finally convinced me by showing my husband the products, and he said they were natural, and he said, just give it a shot, right? He's like, you've hit a plateau, give it a shot. So I started the products and I felt amazing. And I was like, well, I wonder what would happen if I posted on Facebook. Well, before I posted on Facebook, I like to find out, like what I'm getting into. So I got online and I looked at the compensation plan and I read it, and I like ran into the bedroom and I was like, babe, you got to read this right here. And he's reading it and I'm like, so does this say that if I have 20 people join me in the first month that I could make like $1,800 in my first month? And he's like, that's what it says. He's like, but seriously? Like, Alyssa, like, that's got to be hard. And I'm like, no, this is not going to be hard. I was like, whenever I get my hair cut somewhere, whenever, I have a shirt that I like or anything, people are like, oh my gosh, where did you get that? Or where did you get your hair cut? Or your hair color looks amazing. And so that's like, I knew that I had friends just like that. And I was like, if I start this journey, my friends are going to say, I want to do this too. Like, I'm going to do it with you. And so I posted on Facebook about how excited I was that I had broke through my plateau and I was on my way to being the healthy self that I wanted to be. And I wanted to know who wanted to go on the journey with me. So I didn't have results yet, you guys. Like, I had maybe lost a pound or two at that point. But I invited friends to go with me. And so they borrowed my enthusiasm and excitement and they jumped on with me. And within the first month, I signed 26 people. And so, but I got to tell you, like, it was crazy. Like, I maybe messaged a few too many people, and I should have slowed that down. I made a lot of mistakes because my sponsor and I did not know what we were doing at the time. So it was kind of like the blind leading the blind. But what's really cool is that now we have this big, super huge team that has over 16,000 people on it. And you have support, which is something that is so nice to have. But it went on to completely change my family's life. So I thought people got paid in vitamins, like Kim was saying. I thought people got paid getting their products for free, or, you got a free watch, or like that kind of thing, right? I did not realize that like there would be cash in my account and like I didn't have to go searching for it or like asking for it. So I didn't know at that point like what was possible. So I kept reading the compensation plan and I kept watching videos on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? Like, I think I can go to the top of this company. So I linked arms with a couple girlfriends and we were just stay-at-home moms. We didn't have some crazy master's degree. Like, I have a business degree. Like, I was a restaurant manager in my previous life. So I didn't have some unbelievable, like leg up on anyone. But what I had was excitement and enthusiasm, and I like people to do things with me. Like, I like to be around people, and I like, I don't want to sell people things. I want to just do things in a group. So my friends and I kind of set out on this journey, and it more than quadrupled our household income. So what that looks like is today Kim actually asked me like how many of our bills per month it covers. And I was actually a little bit embarrassed to kind of share on her post, because at a point it starts to feel kind of like a blessing, but like you almost feel almost not worthy for as much that comes in, because it just feels like you need to give it away or something. But right now, what comes in per month could pay our monthly bills for 3 months, just 1 month's income. And it's amazing. I can give back freely. I can take my children on trips. We actually put our children in the best Christian school in our entire area that I could never have afforded. And you know, we had our children in public school, which I think is amazing. And my husband's whole family was public school administrators, but our little boy had dyslexia, but he had a super high IQ. So what was going on is that he wasn't getting what he needed because he kept meeting the bars because he was smart. So he needed a little bit extra. So moving him to that school, he's like thriving, and it's all because of this Plexus business. And, you know, the trips and the cars and all that stuff are amazing, but it's like, honestly, the best part is getting phone calls of, you know, I was losing my house before I did this, and I'm able to make my mortgage payment. And, you know, I made enough to pay our electricity bill. And last month we were paycheck to paycheck and had to put a couple checks on, you know, a couple bills on the side. So it's those types of things that, like, just really, truly have impacted, it's impacted a huge ripple effect of people that have been able to just truly change their life just by saying, you know what, I'm going to go for it. So, do you have any other questions?
I love that. I mean, that is so inspiring. But I am going to ask you guys, I just am going to play devil's advocate for a second, because I know 3 years ago, before I started this, what my questions were. And my questions, or my things in that my head was telling me, you know, were I could never do that. I don't know that many people. I live in a small town, and I just don't know how to do that. So would anybody on here want to answer that question? Like, what would you say to somebody who said, I am so happy for you that you've had that experience, but I don't think I could do that, because either I don't know enough people, or I don't know how, or I'm scared to talk to people. Like, what would you say to that? Anybody can answer.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So I would say that it's not, honestly, it's not about them. So I have had so many people, honestly, every single person that I have probably recruited has been more of a shy, quieter person who probably only has 200 to 400 Facebook friends. Because, I mean, I'm being honest, I am your loud friend, right? Like, we all have like a loud friend. So like, but that person is like friends with a lot of quieter people. So like, most of the people who signed up with me, and even one of my best friends who actually signed me up for this opportunity, is super quiet, super shy, has like 2 friends, like me and one other girl. And that was it. And so what happens is you don't realize, but it's not about who you know, it's about who they know. So what happens is you sign up one person, or, you know, your cousin, but you don't realize that your cousin knows, you know, Susie Q, who knows the whole state of Tennessee. You know, like, you just don't know. So that's really honestly what I've told most of my friends. Because, you know, I'm not going to attract all these super loud people, because that doesn't happen, right? Somebody's got to talk, and y'all can't talk at the same time. So.
Yes, and I will second that. I'm very much an introvert, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am a homeschooling mom, so I'm not out in the public a lot. I don't have a huge network. I only had maybe 500 friends on Facebook at the time I started with Plexus, but have over 2,000 now. And it's really about, for me, helping people. So whether you do that loudly or you do that quietly, it's still the same goal. And that is to share with people on how to either present the opportunity with them for the financial side or the products. And so I have been able to work this in my busy schedule, being at home with my kids, and also being able to help provide for all the extras, the sports for my 3 activity ridden children. They're full of gymnastics and swimming and soccer. And that was a little stressful on one income. So this has really been an opportunity for me to just also step outside my comfort zone. Plexus offers so much as far as self-development, and the community is amazing. And perhaps you are someone who is looking for a community. Maybe you are home all day with your kids and you're like, I need adults. This is, not all that fun just talking with toddlers and kids all day. So this can also provide community if that's something that you're looking for. And it's one of the best things that I have gotten out of it. And I was not at all looking for that or expecting. So even if you're quiet and need some friends, this is a great way to do it too.
So Alyssa, what I hear you saying is you don't have to know a lot of people. You can be a connector. And Kristen, what I hear you saying is that any personality can do this, that extroverts, introverts, anybody in between can be really successful at this, and that finances is not the only reason that people want to get into a community or an opportunity like this, that there's community and feelings of empowerment and enlightenment that you get from yourself, and that you also get support of other ladies and encouragement, and that you like that. And one thing I'll share is Kristen, I know, mentioned in the beginning that she had not as many Facebook friends, but now she has a lot, is that there's training out there. Nobody knows how to do this in the beginning. And that's why we have these groups of ladies that come together and link arms, ladies and men, that come together and link arms and do this. And we teach each other and learn from each other and train together. And it's been a huge blessing for my life. So if anybody else has something they want to share, that's totally fine. And if not, we will go ahead and end this call, but just want to say that, Jill, did you have something you wanted to add?
Now, one thing you asked was, what if you have people that just say that they're scared? Because you have to be vulnerable. And for me, it was just a decision. What do I care more about? My Facebook viewers, who most of them I don't know or I haven't seen since elementary school. Like, what do I care more about? How they feel about me, or providing for my boys? And that was a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And I always think it's funny, like it's mind-blowing to me that people say, oh, I could never sell something. And I'm like, actually, you sell something every day. When you wear an American Eagle shirt, what are you advertising? And when you say, I love this movie, or, oh my goodness, if you haven't tried this dry shampoo, you really need to, you're advertising then. So I always think that's funny too, but absolutely, Jill, I 100% agree. But I just want to say thank you guys. If you took the time to listen to this call, thank you for being open-minded enough and listening to our point of view and our stories. It really encourages us, and we really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I know that whoever sent you this video or anybody on this call would be more than happy to give you some open and honest answers to whatever questions you have. But I will unmute us all so we can all say goodnight. But thank you guys so much for hopping on, and we hope you have a good night. So bye guys.
Bye guys. Thank you. Bye.